Happy holidays from New to Medical Device Sales. Just wanted to take a moment to just say happy holidays from all of us here at New to Medical Device Sales. Thank you to everyone for all of your support. We're hoping that you're all getting to spend this special season with people that you love, making memories, because there's nothing better. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of our journey up to this point and where we're going in the future. Hope you all have a great 2024 and start 2025 strong.
Welcome back to First Year in Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and today we are amped up on coffee. It is in the afternoon as I'm recording this, and I am a little sick. If you guys watch my Instagram, we just got an investment property up in northern Arizona. I got it in the mountains where it's 8,600 feet on elevation. I thought it would be a smart move because I'm training for high rocks. If you guys watch our vlogs that you'll see. And I went for a 5-mile run when it was 31 degrees and my lungs did not like it. Also, I thought I was breathing through a straw and I probably looked like a wounded animal. But you don't care about that. You care about med device sales. So let's get into it. We are having this episode go out the last week of December. And I know I've made some stuff for you guys already for Q4, what to expect, but I wanted to talk about what I did every year at this exact time, because what's going to happen is January 1st of 2025 is going to start midweek. And I wanted to touch base on, what did I do every single year the last week of December? So many times I find reps being able to go like, oh, I have to do this December 31st, but it just mattered where you're at, because very often, like for me, not all of my companies that I've worked at had quotas that started January 1st. They were like starting in May, right? So I had a different year for my fiscal year. At the end of every year, I love being able to do reflecting. I'll never forget, it was right after Christmas. I ended up going to the gym at night. I ended up actually just getting over COVID. I was sick as heck. And I finally was able to feel good enough. I went to the gym and I started just working out. And one of the things that always hit me was one of the motivational videos that I watched. And it was by Jordan Peterson. And I share this with our members all the time. But I would sit there and I'd listen to it. And this motivational video says, what are you doing to screw up your life? And the funny thing about it is he's like, you actually have to want to know the answer. And I'll just never forget. I was in there, had the music blaring, and I just never forget thinking about that over and over. What am I doing to screw up my life? What am I doing to screw up my life? And it was so easy to see, because I'll just tell you guys, if you ask yourself, what are you doing to screw up your life? You will all be able to answer it within 2 seconds. And it's absolutely crazy. But the difference is that the people who are able to perform are the ones who are able to go see the demons that they're dealing with, and then they go deal with it. Like I always just tell people, for me, there was places I was wasting my time and I just was like, no, I'm done. I'm literally done. I'm cutting it off today. Remember working out, being in that moment, I cut it off. And then I remember getting on the treadmill and walking. I do what they call big boy walks, or that's what me and my buddies would always call them. And we'd put the incline to 15, speed above 3. And you just walk. If you guys are ever just trying to lean up, there you go. Do that for 20 to 30 minutes a day. But why I'm telling you that is because I would sit there and I would listen to the music right after that moment. And I was like, okay, what have I done this year to screw up my life? What have I done to make my life really good? I started just reflecting on all of it. But then I said, okay, at that point, I was about halfway through the year with my current quota. And then I was like, okay, I need to work backwards on how I'm going to hit my quota or actually exceed it. And just so you guys know, just like any top performer, I didn't get a quota and I just set it to the quota. I went above the quota by a little amount. And I was like, okay, what do I have to do to hit that number? And then I work that backwards. And I literally never forget being on that treadmill, writing down the notes. And I literally gave myself the game plan of like, if you go execute it, you will crush it. I remember finishing at 138% to plan that year. And it was all because I went and executed literally what I wrote down on that treadmill that day. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because the end of the year is such an amazing time for you all to, number one, see the growth that you've all accomplished. A lot of the people that are listening to this right now just broke into medical device sales this year. And you all are in it right now, but you aren't able to take a step away and say, man, I broke in February. I think about my life in January and February and how different it is to the person I am right now. How much more mature, how much more responsibility, how much more money I'm making, just how much different my life is currently. But in that same moment, I also would look back and be like, okay, what did I do that I could always improve in? Because that's the thing, is we always can improve on. It doesn't mean you beat yourself up and make yourself feel worse, but you want to actually go and look at, what am I doing that could be better? Right now, it's why when we run our business, I get so excited. I meet with our team and I'm like, guys, we are crushing, but we could actually be doing this way more better, which means we were to crush even more. It's the same way I want you guys to think about your career in medical device sales. It's why, again, I've gotten on multiple talks. Just talk to a guy, actually, I'll put this out there. Just talk to a guy. He's been in the industry for over 2 years. He still doesn't even make $68,000. Got on, he's like, I'm talking to my mentors who have been in for 30 years and they don't know what I want to do and blah, blah, blah. And basically he said the whole reason he was on a call with me because he keeps taking old school advice that's keeping him stuck and he can't make over $100,000 unless he does this for another 5 years, which is total crap because we just got a 23-year-old hired at $125,000. A couple days later and said, hey, I don't want to get any help because I think I'm just going to go the old school route. And I said, hey, man, interesting. You told me the whole reason you were on the call was because you didn't want to do the old school route. But if you want to be in the industry for 3-4 years and still make under $100,000 to $110,000, that's on you, man. That don't change my life. And I say this to everybody. The reason I say this to you all, I was a personal trainer. I had a lot of people who tell me they were going to come work out with me. But I always make this really clear for everyone to find out. Did it hurt my life that they didn't come and work out with me? No. I still had abs. I was still fit. I could still run a 5-minute mile. But they were the ones who still never got in shape. They were the ones who never were happy with how they looked. All that. And it's no different than in med device sales and what we do is like, we've been able to help people do all the things that you guys all want to do. But the reason I'm sitting here telling you this is please do not listen to human beings that you don't want their life of. The reps that have been in for 6 years that only make $140K. Great. The thing I'll sit here and tell you, there is nothing wrong with making $140K. I'm not trashing on that. What I am trashing on is people who will make that and it took them 6 to 8 years. I did way north of that my first year. We're able to show that. But then those people who make the 140 are going to trash on the people that are in their first year or second year, tell them it's impossible and they'll never do it. Or it's going to take them 5 more years because apparently this person was better than you. The whole point of why I make these is I'm a mentor and I'm a person. You guys should beat me. Every single person that I coach is supposed to beat me. That's like the whole goal of a mentor. That's a good mentor. That's a good coach. You're supposed to beat me. That's why you came with me, was to come and then get the coaching to hopefully beat me in my career where I was at in that time. That's what people miss, number one. But the reason I'm saying all of this to you is please do the reflection. Please take the advice. Maybe go meet with other reps and just see, but make sure they're reps that you actually want to take advice from. And then do that really hard reflection that I just said. Can you do the pros and the cons? Can you go through it? Because I'll never forget getting done. And I remember after I left Medtronic and I went to Innovis and I traveled the world and I was in Greece and I came back from Greece right before Christmas and had a great time. And then the next year went to Italy with Innovis. Like it was all the stuff and it was all through med device sales and I loved it. But every year, just so you all know, I had the best year of my life and the hardest year of my life. And you're like, wait, how does that make sense? And it's because, again, like, guys, I'll never forget. I was leaving Medtronic. That was the first year I broke into hundreds of thousands of dollars and way hundreds of thousands of dollars, big commission check. And I'll never forget. That was amazing. Still the same year that I lost my best friend to brain cancer. And then it was like, okay, I got this new amazing job and I got this new opportunity. And then I had another massive loss. And what I don't think enough people talk about, and I just want you guys to hear it from someone who's lived it and gone through it. You know what's crazy about when you're seeking this thing called growth? Is usually you take on bigger challenges and bigger mountains. You usually are going to have bigger successes, but you're also going to have bigger losses. And people miss that a lot. And so I'm sitting here telling you guys that because I want you to keep growing so much. I want you to have all the success in medical device sales. But the one thing I watch the best reps do every single year is they reflect. They reflect on what they did great. They reflected on what they could get better at. Doesn't mean you beat yourself up, but where are you missing gaps? And again, do the real Jordan Peterson, because just so you guys know, I talk to our team about this and our members, and I make them do it too. But just so you guys know, everyone's always asked me, Jacob, how have you had success? What's made you this way? I'll sit here and tell you, every month, I sit down and I ask what I'm doing to screw up my life. And every month, I do something to stop doing that. I've got out of relationships because of it. I've cut people out of my life because of it. I've stopped certain actions that I was doing a lot of because of it, changed how my life ran, because I never wanted to sit back and say, gee, I wonder. I even more importantly, didn't want to sit back and say, that was the vice that kept me stuck. Guys, we get it. I used to be the young dude, single, starting to make money. I found myself going out on dates a couple times a week, and it was just a waste of my time with quality of people that I didn't want to be with. And I really had to do an audit. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this? Does this get me closer or farther away from my goals? Are these people building me up or tearing me down? Then I had to be like, okay. And just so you all know, for 10 months, I went on a hiatus where I'm like, I'm not focusing on anything except me being better, me working on myself. I will never regret that 10 months because it was the 10 months that changed my whole entire life. My income, my mindset, my healing, my everything has led me to where I'm at today. And so I'm just sitting here telling you that wouldn't have happened if I didn't do that reflection. We're at the end of the year. You want to go crush it? You're going to see a lot of people talking about how much they crushed it this last year and just rub it all over LinkedIn and say, I'm amazing. I'm the best rep that ever lived. But what I would encourage you all to do is go reflect. The people that are doing all the winning don't have to talk about doing all the winning. They just win. But the last thing I'll sit here and tell you is I always make the joke is like people know what we do. We put it out there. I put it out there because people are like, oh, Jacob, what are you doing? All this stuff. The moment I've made this podcast, the moment I've had all of this is because I just want to help you all. The best thing I can ever say to you is right now, one of the girls we just got hired who's not even supposed to be considered a candidate in medical device sales. And we literally just got her 2 offers from 2 top companies. And I was just on a call right before this, going back, doing negotiations on those contracts, which is more than the human being I spoke about earlier, who's been in the industry for 2 years. And that's how she's starting out. It's humbling for me to say when she calls me and she says, hey, I've talked to multiple reps that have been in the industry for 8+ years. And they talk about how they listen to you and you put really good stuff out. It's humbling for me to hear that. Again, that's not me trying to toot my own horn and tell you guys this. I'm just sitting here telling you the reason I've done this podcast, the reason I do all of this, the reason we have a camera crew and we put this content out there and do all of it, because it goes back to the same reason I started over 4 years ago when I had not a dollar to my name. I just wanted to help somebody. I just want to help somebody live a great life. And at some point, you got to start focusing on you and stop getting out of all the noise that you got going around you from other reps, from family, from drama, from crap that you're created in your own life. And you got to go create the life you want. I just hope you all had a happy holidays. I hope you're prepped to go into the new year. And I just want you all to know I want you to win. I want you to win. And my best advice for going into 2025 is make sure you reflect on 2024 and not only reflect on the things you could get better at, but really reflect on the things you did well and what you're proud of yourself about. Because if you do that, you're going to take a lot of momentum into 2025. And the last piece of that, know crystal clear what you want in 2025. Every single year, I have accomplished all the goals I wrote down. That's not by accident. It's because I had a crystal clear plan and I hit the ground running from day one. And if you guys want to be successful, you guys want to keep going after all the things, let me just say it's no different than breaking into medical device sales. It's no different than being successful in medical device sales, winging life, winging it, just shooting from the hip. Ain't gonna work. Go make a plan. Go execute on it. And go be a great person that lifts somebody else up. See you on the next one. Peace.